Welcome to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Council. I'm Teresa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. It is my pleasure, my honor to facilitate this event every single month. We do it on the third Tuesday. It is at 8:30-ish.
Give or take.
Yeah, give or take. And it's free and open to the public. It's right here at the Community Center on Aroso. And we have coffee in Danish, courtesy of Steamworks, right there on US 1. Have you all been to Steamworks before? It's the best,
I have. It's
right?
delicious.
They
have good food and coffee.
They do. Michael is very proud of his blends and his, he does all that himself. And it's truly a local business, right? So we want to support them. So Steamworks on US 1. And I am here today with a couple of special guests from staff. And
we're your B team today.
Well, so I got the call yesterday that there wasn't really a lot of availability amongst the council. And then I saw yesterday late breaking news that even the council meeting got canceled yesterday. So it is not a falsity. There is very little access to any council member at this time.
That is true. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but they had to cancel the meeting yesterday at the last minute. So yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
That means that they are not available. Yes.
That very rarely happens. I mean, I can't think of the last time a city council meeting was canceled.
It's happened, but it's usually we know in advance a little bit.
Yeah.
But to do in a couple hours, it just that means that
something's wrong.
Yes.
Yes. People are very unavailable.
Yes.
It's that time you know what? When everybody goes back to school, there's no secret that back to school means back to germs.
Very true. Yes.
Yeah. So that happens quite a bit. We pass it around every August, but nothing to be concerned about.
No. Hopefully everyone's okay, and
yeah, I'm sure
we are. We'll be back to normal next month.
Yes. Well, introduce yourself, Sarah. I mean, they've been a part of this whole operation for as long as we've been doing it, basically.
But usually behind the scenes,
yes.
Right? Yeah, you usually don't get us out in front of the camera. I'm Sarah Prohaska. I'm the communications director for the city of Port St. Lucie. Usually helping the camera, Avi and Gus back there with the cameras and getting everything organized. But last minute fill in, so I'm very happy to be here. And I brought along Maureen Kenyon, who is the city's social media manager. We work very closely, and we have a couple things Mayor Martin asked us to talk about. Okay. So we'd love to share some information on behalf of her and the council today. And we're happy to be here. And
Good.
We're used to just being in those chairs, not these chairs.
Yes, I know. This is both of your first appearance on the show. So what did the mayor ask you guys to talk about?
So there's a couple topics. The first thing was they just finished, or what was it, a week or so ago, the summer workshop where they adopted their budget. And the summer workshop is this year it was 3 days. Sometimes it's 3 days, some days it's 2 days. Some years it's 2 days. A workshop where they go into in depth on many topics, and in the summer it's the budget. Mm-hmm. And they set the tentative millage rate, which is your property tax rate for the next year. So it's pretty much set, and they did do a decrease of the city's property tax rate. It's the 8th year in a row that the council has decreased the property tax rate that you pay in the city of Port St. Lucie. But when I say that, you just have to remember when you're looking at your overall property tax bill, and we've gone over this so many times, Teresa.
But it doesn't matter. I still think you have to remind them. Yes.
The city of Port St. Lucie has 2 line items on there, and it accounts for about a quarter of your overall bill. So if another taxing authority has raised their property tax rate, that affects your total. But for what the city can control, the council really has done a great job. I mean, since I've been here 6 years. Mm-hmm. This is the 8th year in a row that they have taken incremental decreases to that city property millage rate, and it's brought it down. So they did it one more year. We were really happy about that, and the budget gets adopted in September after 2 public hearings. If you have any questions about the budget, we have it online. We have an easy breakdown of the budget called our Budget in Brief. All you have to do is go to cityofpsl.com/budget. But Mayor Martin really wanted me to mention a new tool we have.
Yeah, she told me about this.
Yes, it's called our tax receipt tool. And it's also on our city website. If you go to cityofpsl.com/taxes, you'll find this tool, and you basically type in your your taxable property value.
Your assessed value.
Assessed
Yes,
value.
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you type that in and push a button, and it brings up how much of that overall bill that you pay to the city of Port St. Lucie, where exactly it goes. So you can see you pay maybe $3 to the city's communications department. It breaks it down that low. You pay maybe $8 for public safety. You pay, so it goes into that level of detail, and you can really see where your money is going in the city of Port St. Lucie, and it's pretty universal. You'll see most of your money is going to safety, public safety, roads and infrastructure, and I see a Keep Port St. Lucie Beautiful person here.
Yes.
Cleanliness, in our safe, clean, and beautiful programs.
Okay.
So, and road projects. So,
Parks and Rec?
And Parks and Rec, yes.
Yep.
Those are the main
the
areas.
big ones, yeah.
And you can see exactly where it breaks down and how much of your actual money goes into those buckets.
Those are the top, most expensive ones, right? They're labor intensive, and so we have to cover that. So you mentioned something about taxes. We always go over it just a little bit. So the county did reduce their millage rate too.
That's wonderful.
We're
Yeah.
going to see a millage rate reduction. But you mentioned your tax bill, the city is only responsible for about 25% of your total cost.
Yes.
So if they reduce their 25% by a nominal amount, it's difficult to see a reduction
in your total
overall payment.
Especially if your property value has gone up. But then if you're homesteaded, it's capped at 3%.
Yep.
So your property tax bill is extremely complicated, but if you go online, cityofpsl.com/taxes, we've got a couple of videos on there and some explanations of it that I think are pretty easy to digest.
And it's August, right? Yes. So this is when you're going to get your trim notice. So it's always good to mention that your trim notice is not a bill. Do not pay that. That is just an explanation of your property taxes. For many people, if your home is financed, it's escrowed into your monthly payment, so you wouldn't pay that regardless, right? But you're still not going to pay on that trim notice. You're going to wait until you get your finalized bill. But yeah, unless everybody got together and decided to reduce everybody's rate by 3%, you're not typically going to see a reduction in taxes.
Yeah, in your
money
bill.
Paid.
Yeah.
In the bill. It's still going to be, it's going to go up at least probably a little, close to 3%.
Yeah.
For sure.
But at least the city of Port St. Lucie is doing what they can on the part that they can control. So,
is this the first year for the new waste hauler? Or did we pay that? It is. Okay, so
yes.
we probably should mention that.
You will have, so there's also on your tax bill, you pay special assessments. One of the there's a special assessment for stormwater, your stormwater fee. There's a special assessment for your solid waste, which is your garbage fee. And I'm sure everybody here who lives in Port St. Lucie knows that last year we had to switch solid waste haulers. Maureen and I were in the middle of all of that for many, many months, so we could talk about this for hours if you really wanted us to, but we won't because we're past it. Yes. We are on the other side of it now. We have a hauler who is reliable, who is who's consistent and reliable, and that was our goal. We did have to go to once a week. That's a whole other topic. I'll let Mayor Martin tackle that one when she comes back.
You don't get paid enough to deal with that one.
That one.
Yeah.
But that is honestly every city government out there who's had to renegotiate is looking at having to do that because the inflation and the rates and all of that. But that's a whole other story, a whole other day. We could talk for hours.
Waste has gone up across the nation. I don't think any community was, safe from that. Fort Pierce has their own waste hauling, so maybe they were a little bit less scathed, but even then, have felt the effects of inflation. I have a testimonial because I am very busy and I very often am not home, and my husband decided that he needed to hire somebody to trim the trees in the adjoining, the lot next to us that some investor owns, and we didn't want to go through all that, so he just paid to have it done, right? Because it's touching my house and yada yada yada. And then I come home and there's a huge pile of debris.
Contractors are supposed to take those away.
At the end of he hired the neighbors, landscaping people. And I'm like, oh no, this is not going to end well. So there's a huge, like, lot-sized pile of debris, and we of course immediately got a notice from the city, and I was like, yeah, I knew that was coming, but I can't be home all the time, right? No. So then I said to him, you did it, you handle it. That went over well too. But I didn't call anybody, I didn't talk to anybody, and he called the city, and they came out and they picked it up for a really, really nice price, because he had called around to other haulers to have it taken out, and they wanted $600-700. And so if you make arrangements with the city and you do it correctly, it can go well for you.
Yes,
but I was
that is
very
an option.
surprised how easy it went, and I did not make a single phone call.
That's great. Yeah. So he probably called our 1PSL number, and they will take care of all of that. They will. So FCC did who is our hauler. They negotiated a pretty low fee for that, for those additional pickups for customers in the city of Port St. Lucie.
Yes.
So just call 1PSL. They'll get. Or if you have a pickup truck, you can load it in and take it to our convenient, what do they call it? The convenient drop-off center at Cameo in Crosstown, and you can drop it there for free.
Yeah.
If you have the ability. If you don't have a
he
truck
has
or
a pickup, but when I say it was a lot-sized debris field, it was beyond his capabilities. But he really had a good experience with the city, and
great.
And like I said, I didn't talk to anybody.
Customer service has been so much better. Pickup reliability has been so much better. So I think everybody is seeing a difference from where we were at this time last year, which was nightmarish conditions.
Yeah.
So,
So, kudos to everybody involved, because they really handled it, and he felt really good about it.
Yeah. So, but to come back to your tax bill and the solid waste assessment, we are being very open and transparent, and there will be a slight increase on your solid waste assessment this year, because in the contract that was negotiated, they did negotiate a yearly increase. So it's going to go up slightly. I think it's like 3%. We've designed a mailer, so you will get a mailer explaining it, how much it's going up. And also last year, everybody received a credit. So you received a $30 credit on your bill. It was the city council's way of trying to make up
nice for
for the hardship that everyone had to endure for that summer. And so everyone got, I think it equated to a couple months of service.
Yeah. But
So
service was very inexpensive. Back then.
Yeah. But so the last year your bill was a certain rate, but it had a credit. This year, you're not getting the credit. So you will see differences in your bill. Please open your mail if you get a mailer from the city of Port St. Lucie. It explains it all in there, and there will be public hearings if you have questions about that. But it is the two reasons it's going up very slightly is CPI inflation increase, which is in the contract, and then you're not receiving the credit that you received last year.
It's important to note that on your trim notice, for every change in millage or rate or assessment, there is a date of which there is public comment. So before it's finalized, that's why you don't pay your trim notice. It's not finalized. And before it can be finalized, there has to be a public hearing. So you'll look at your trim notice, it'll have a date out to the far right of when those public hearings are. So if you're mad about it, that's when you go down there and yell at somebody.
Exactly.
And not until.
Exactly.
There you go. All right.
I don't have them on me, but
I don't.
There's sometime in September.
I think it's September 11th and 25th, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll put them on the screen though.
Public hearing for those for the city only.
Yeah.
Everybody else has their own little public hearing date.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of them on there. All right, what else did the mayor want you guys to talk to us about?
So we have, and it kind of taxes kind of leads into this. So so the reason why we brought Maureen in is the city has started a podcast, and Mayor Martin has been very active with it. She's our guest once a month, and she really just talks. It's like this. She talks about whatever the hot topic of that time is. Maureen knows what the hot topics are because she follows she manages our social media, and you can usually tell from that what people are upset about in that moment. So that's what we address on this podcast, and I will turn it over to Maureen.
So Maureen, what are people mad about right now?
Hi, everyone. I keep getting pushed in front of the camera. I'm usually behind a laptop. So this is all new for me. So yes, so mostly people were upset or still are upset, but we've already discussed it in our podcast. We've already had 4 episodes. The very first episode was about trash.
Oh, yeah.
And the 3rd episode with Mayor Martin was about taxes. So
Fun stuff.
plug here, cityofpsl.com/podcast. You can listen on Spotify. You can listen on Apple and Google Podcasts. And you can also watch us. Yes, watch us on YouTube. We created a beautiful studio over at City Hall with the help of my colleagues in the back there who are running the cameras, Gus and Avi. And it's the first one was about garbage. And when Sarah kept saying, you know, we can let Mayor Martin speak about it, this is where you get to hear Mayor Martin speak about it. So yeah, garbage, trash, taxes. The tax podcast is very informative. I've worked here for 3 years. I learned so much in every single one of these podcasts. I thought I knew most of everything when it comes to those topics. But yeah, so have a listen. They're between 20 and 40 minutes.
Okay.
So we have Mayor Martin on once a month. We drop episodes every other Friday, so twice a month. Mayor Martin is on once a month. And then we have other staffers. The first staffer we had was Shane from EM to talk about hurricane season.
Oh, yeah.
And we just had on Jen Davis. That episode was available this past Friday, the 11th, I believe. And she talked about City Center. And we've gotten really positive feedback, especially about that podcast. People didn't know a lot of the things that Jen spoke about. And it's a super, super relaxed, just conversation about topics that residents want to hear about. And that's what's the great thing about this podcast is it's stuff that we're seeing on social media and stuff we're seeing in emails, phone calls maybe that council is receiving. And that's what we try to focus the topics on. It's an educational and informational podcast. It's not me, trying to spout my expertise on anything. We leave that to the guests that we have.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's what our residents and citizens, even people who visit, want to hear about.
Sure.
And we'll have periodically, because maybe stuff won't be so crazy on social media, and maybe stuff won't be so crazy. Maybe people aren't talking about anything. I don't think that will ever happen, but we will have a few podcasts that are maybe just educational, to teach everybody about our sidewalk program, to teach everybody about, our repaving program.
Okay.
So that's pretty much what it is. It's cityofpsl.com/podcast. And you can fill out a form there too. If you want to hear about a certain something, we'll do our best to get it on an episode.
Very nice. Now, since I have staff today, and this was all last minute, I am not going to expand on any topics that you maybe, you know what I mean? I'm not going to put you on the spot. You're not elected officials. I'm not going to put you on the spot at all.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. I don't think that would be very fair, right? So I do want to thank you both for coming and make sure that we've talked about everything she'd asked you to bring to the audience.
There is one more thing.
Okay.
And I'm going to have to use my phone on this one.
All right.
So Port St. Lucie, so one of the things we always hear is what can we do in Port St. Lucie? So we have a new option, a very new festival that the city is adding, that the city's Parks and Recreation Department is adding to its repertoire this year. And it is the first ever Port St. Lucie International Festival. And it will be September 16th, Saturday, September 16th at the Mid-Florida Event Center. And it really is, it's a celebration of the diversity of our city's, of the cultures in our city. And there will be food from many countries, including Italy, Japan, Mexico, Jamaica. There will be performances every 20 minutes from things that we typically don't see in Port St. Lucie. So this will be new. It goes to 9, but at 7 p.m., the headliner, who is a 4-time Grammy Award winner, Tomasito Cruz, will be taking the stage.
What does he do?
He is a singer.
Oh, okay.
And he has sung with Gloria Estefan and many other very famous. We attempted to get him to bring Gloria Estefan on to sing one song,
how did
but
that
was
go?
a bit out of our budget.
Yes.
We did
Not in the budget.
We did inquire. We inquired, and I want to say the city got a grant from the National Endowment of the Arts to help put this festival on. So, and then if you are hot inside the event center lobby, we'll have some more cultural experiences. We'll have garment displays of on many different culturals. Their cultural garments will be on display. And the cool thing about that is they're from Port St. Lucie residents. So they showcase the people, and we're going to have, there'll be ones from India, Japan, Korea, Germany. So it really does showcase the diversity of the people who live in Port St. Lucie, because these are our residents' garments. Mexico.
Nice.
So that will be inside. So if you get hot, come inside for a little bit. And there'll be art displays on, and we're also going to do some booths where we're going to ask questions and get your feedback on art, culture, and diversity in Port St. Lucie. So
very good. Is there vendor spaces? Can people know?
No. This is a part, and it's not my event. It's Parks and Rec, so I'm not exactly sure. But as far as I know, it's
just invited vendors that pertain to the subject matter.
Because she's trying to keep them.
I get that.
Yeah,
that's
and
fine.
they'll have a marketplace. There will be an international marketplace. So there will be shopping there too, so it'll be fun.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds interesting. I can't wait.
Neither can I. We'll be here.
So the question is, where do you go to find out about these events? Because Bev's not mic'd up, so
know
we
how
don't
to
know.
do this.
Yes.
cityofpsl.com. It'll be on there. Yep, the calendar. Click on the calendar. Yep.
And we typically have them in all things Treasure Coast too. So if you want to go Treasure Coast wide, I know that we're at the city of Port St. Lucie, but Treasure Coast wide, we pick up all the events from the city as well and put them on all things Treasure Coast. And Maureen has something.
Yeah, I just wanted to say too, if anyone is on social media, follow us on social media. We post constantly about events and everything that's happening. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Nextdoor, we have Twitter, which I think now is called X. That's a whole nother podcast, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, if you can go to cityofpsl.com/stay informed, and everything is there. You can sign up for newsletters. You can follow us on social media. Text. We have a new text program too that you can sign up for. So stay informed/stay informed. Everything's there for you.
Very good. Well, I'm not going to keep us, and we often do questions. Well, not really questions, but we kind of intermingle afterwards. So if you really want to come down to the show to pose some questions and talk to typically a council member, but staff today, please do. Remember, it's the third Tuesday, 8:30-ish at the Community Center on Oroso. I want to invite everybody down, and we'll give you some coffee and Danish for joining us. So we're gonna go ahead and end the show today, just because I don't want to put you on the spot. We can take some questions off camera, and not everybody has different reasons why they couldn't be here. I don't want everybody to think the entire council is not feeling well. That's not true, but they were not available today. So I thank you very, very much for filling in. I appreciate it, because it also happened last minute, and I thought, well, we don't really have time to tell people.
You can't cancel the night before.
Yeah, to not come. And so I appreciate very much that you guys did this for us.
Thank you.
Yes. And with that, I again want to thank Michael at Steamworks there on US 1, right kind of across from Savannah. Yep, in the plaza there. So head on over there, support local business, and everybody here on staff, and Avi and Gus, and my team as well, Nash, for always making sure we're down here. With that, thank you everybody for coming. And if you want to stay, we'll answer a few questions. Thanks again.
Thank you.